We're not going to be on for a whole long time today, are we? I mean, I guess if I'm allowed to. If I'm allowed to have success, I might as well stick around. It's like the season has changed. I did. Charles told me that we could play the TBG music in the background and not going to affect things.
Yeah, she only makes like one. No, it needs a charge. That thing.
Okay, well, it's been on there for a while, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I did charge it at 5, so.
You haven't been up since 5. It was at 5%.
Yeah.
I never meant to use you all as my stepping stones. Down to the river with me. Can't really listen to the music though. And look stuff up. Man, I forget about these songs.
How do they pass the physical requirements to graduate the class that hands out their sense of entitlement? Man, this is just like riding a bicycle. Like the surgeon making a hip-hop beat, I just can't complete the circuit. No matter how hard I work it, my loss ratio is perfect. Like lions on turf shit, it's harder than it seems. Chasing wet dreams, yet always awake, dogs make a shaky foundation. Plagued by the pace when I yearn to go fast, my glass is a laugh, half full or empty. Temptation tempts me, temporarily tempting my tempestuous nature. My sailors sailed towards less turbulent waters long before daughters fought for my attention. I spent the rent and all of the bills on happiness pills, yet still I feel broken. Knowing I open and close my own doors, I choose to be sore more than I choose easy. But like Jesus, believe me, sneezing is pleasing, seeing as how it's every now and again. But when it's again and again and again, it's like rhyming the same word again and 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 again. And now it's been a minute since I could be myself, because it's been a minute since pride was on the shelf. And though it's been a minute since I held on to my wealth,
What's up, person?
I know it's been a
Hope you're
minute.
not an Israeli piece of shit.
Every time I heard the bell,
Can you believe these fuckers?
I need some help. I need your help. Again and again.
That song was awesome. I forgot about that one.
Is this thing on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the circus.
I made the mistake of listening to TBG songs today. The fuck just happened? that was pretty weird. But I made a mistake of listening to the TBG stuff today.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And I
welcome
just, you know,
to the circus.
other than conspiracy, censorship, I don't get it. We are fucking great.
He who writes the narrative is he who rules the world. That was clever. Write that down. The truth is, it's imperative that the wearer of the crown.
But you see that Israel killed 80 people today? They're saying it's one of the worst single strikes since the war began on October 7th. They killed 80 fucking people. Innocent people. Mostly women and children at a shelter because it was, you know, it was a school turned into a shelter because, you know, their lives had been bombed to bits. And Israel now hit the shelter saying, well, there was a Hamas commander there. There's a Hamas commander there. There was a Hamas commander there, I promise. We swear. That's what we say every time. It was a Hamas commander. Or some infrastructure. It's fucking ridiculous. I just, you know. Again, whether we, you know, see the same way on religion or whatever it is, how are you witness to this genocide? 80 people killed in a strike. Like, it's not like it's tit for tat. It's not like yesterday 11 or you know, 30 Israelis were killed by a strike, and you know, it's just going back and forth. That's not what's happening. What's happening is completely one-sided. Completely. Show me the last time literally, Israel is so desperate for, you know, to balance things out that they're lying and claiming people that aren't even Israeli are being killed. I mean, they literally had nothing that they could say, well, look at what they've done to us. So the Israelis launched missiles into this Druze community, killing 11 of them, not Israelis, them, the Druze. Druze, I don't know. And that way they go, well, they attacked us. Look at it. 12 children were killed. The 12 children of Israel were killed. The funny thing is, I don't think they've actually been bringing that one up because they know people, like, it's not real. The joke is that everybody cares when Putin does it. But not when Netanyahu does it. Strange, man. Got my one viewer. Before I got my last block, I had 10,000 viewers. Now, not so much.
What we have here is failure to communicate. I know, I'm crazy. I fail because I'm lazy, and I only really say things so I can get attention. But if that was my intention, why wouldn't I just mention how I'm not on the fence and I believe in Jesus? I could easily succeed with selling you to pieces if you hope this fairy tale is true. Since it's easy to fool the fool, think it's really cool to follow every rule and to censor what they're scared of. Those who look above are the fingers in the glove, like you can always make no sense. There is no evidence, no reason their defense is Clark among the Kents, but it's the Super Manifesto. The create the legend and selling them a mess holds no challenge to the best, so I would be unrivaled, like selling candy to a child. If I wanted smiles, I wouldn't spread denial, and I'd be just another you. Reconnect. Trying to reconnect. We're trying to reconnect. How do we reconnect? Why do we have to reconnect? Why do we have to reconnect? Why Why can't we reconnect?
What's up, second person?
Why do we have to reconnect? Verse 2, what should I do? Should I puncture the structure and continue to prove how I am the dude? Truth is the answer. Removing excuses, I choose to advance toward damning the cancer that has your salvation. Clutched in their hand for their planned domination. Removing the chancellors, branded the safe men. Exposing the handlers, demand for their place and how their invasion stays in the darkness. What could be amazing is brazen and heartless. We're crocs among caimans, crossbred with sharks with lasers and fake fins, making the hardest level of harness wicked intent. Our genes are retarded, our energy spent on paying the rent. We're sent through the ringer, seeking adventure. We're meant to be singers of anthems and things you're just supposed to accept, but you give them the finger each moment you reject.
Reconnect. See, this one we did what we were supposed to do. Like, you look at the track list, it's 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 3 minutes, 40 seconds, 2 minutes, well, this, I don't know what this one is. 5 minutes, 4:27, 1:36, 3:20, 4:10, 3:58, 4:19. Trying to fit
Verse
the
3, let's see, where can it be?
They
What can I do?
demands.
Who's really free? The lies and deceit, complete with the failure, supplying the beat. We eat like we're tailored to compete for the jailers, cheapest affections. We easily sail toward deleted directions, meaning infections, detections not needed when our team's comprehension's been lessened and seeded through means and aggression. If henchmen aren't agreed with, then seems full of tension, put dents in the depleted. This stench then secreted is mentioned like Jesus rose from the dead, and instead of a speed stick, he led with the disease dick, gripping you easily. The Fed just repeated, thinking they freely believe what is easily seen as a joke. We're seasoned and cheesy, no wonder we joke.
good shit there. Just makes no sense. I mean, it does. I don't know. I bitch and I complain and I get mad and all that, but look at what we talk about in our songs. No shit.
First and foremost, how do they pass the physical requirements to graduate the class that hands out their sense of entitlement, since their inches seem like miles when engaged in pissing contests? They arrogantly smile, then they tell you, just be honest, if you help us, then our conference might work out in your favor. But you believe in nonsense if you think Popeye the Sailor wasn't juicing every day for those gains he couldn't achieve without throwing out that claymore he had hidden up his sleeve. And like how every cop's a seed that's eventually going to blossom when you take care of a weed, even that boy awesome. Yet not every top's a bottom, and most closets aren't too clean. It often seems these fruits are rotten. Maybe that's why they're so mean, since each and every scene could fill an encyclopedia. If you're willing to look between your government and the media, you'll see what the Fed keeps feeding you is as desperate as that last line, which you'll only see when reading the words like it's a pastime. If you have nothing to hide, you have no need to worry. Isn't that what they tell us?
Yep.
You're a part of the crime when you don't report it. Isn't that what they tell us?
Yes, that is what they tell us.
It's illegal to lie and to make up a story. Isn't that what they tell us?
Yes, it is.
So why is there pride in the absence of glory? Tell them
That's a good point.
what
That's a
they've
good
been
point.
telling us. They are all bad cops, despite what they may say. Qualified immunity needs to stop since it's just another day. The game we're forced to play is rigged against us goy. Their black and white is gray, and the tactics they employ affect every girl and boy. So why aren't they more accountable? Like, why don't they get more joy out of outing their fellow constables who think they can discount the rules when they are who is breaking them? Their actions just amount to fools. Captain saving all his lady friends like balls thrown at Tom Brady's end. They rob us of our liberties, calling out the shady sins, the brightest of them miseries, since it's almost like it's wizardry or a simple sleight of hand. How these hippos physically meet the physical demand when they have to do more than just stand there while an officer breaks the law. Like them towards us, I see a band where together they should fall. And if the truth makes you feel small and somehow hurts your pride, remember, standing tall means you have nothing to hide. Right? If you have nothing to hide, you have no need to worry. Isn't that what they tell us? You're a part of
I just like listening to this guy. What can I say? He makes good sounds.
What they tell us. It's illegal to lie and to make up a story. Isn't that what they tell us? So why is there pride in the absence of glory? Tell them what they've been telling us. The last thing most of us want is to get pulled over, but heroes like Jay Surreal, Direct D, and or any other auditor who puts their lives on the line.
I support Direct D a lot more than he supports me.
The machine, accountable, deserves your respect and support. The fact Direct D has zero support from cops while the machine destroys the Constitution trying to shut him down for doing the job they are too scared to do, since he's only trying to expose the bad pigs while highlighting the good ones, proves how they are all bad cops and will do whatever it takes to protect each other. Please, you should always film your interaction with them. They are legally allowed to lie to you.
Hey, person number 3.
And
How's it
are
going?
never on your side. If you have nothing to hide, you have no need to worry. Right, officer?
So yeah, I just, like I say, this, listening to this, just, I think it's great. So.
And serve. Protect and serve. Protect and serve. Protect and serve.
That's what we should all be chanting at police.
At best, the Russia-Ukraine thing has been going on since February 20th, 2014.
February
The
20th.
Nakba was May 15th, 1948. And the Palestinian genocide has been going on for 70 plus years.
Crazy to hear it.
This is a call to the machine, a plea aimed at your selfishness. Her name was Shireen Abu Akleh. Her rebellious wish was
Shireen
that
Abu Akleh.
Israel's quite devilish plans are
Akleh, Akleh.
giving her life to tell us this. The reward was that Shireen.
I mean, I look at this whole thing and I just think, like, I can give you endless examples of why I feel like I do. Why can't you give me examples of why I'm wrong? It just seems so strange how that works out. Like, I'm not some goofy Jesus guy trying to get you to have faith in something that clearly doesn't exist. I'm like, here, let's talk about what's literally happening in the world as we speak. Israel just fucking killed 80 Palestinians. They're fucking disgusting pigs, man. And it's like, you know, like, where's the other side? just don't get it, man. I don't get why people defend being slaves. Like, it's the craziest thing. Like, if I was sitting here, pushing one of the narratives, I get it. Like, you believe the other narrative. And you've been told from birth that, your narrative's the right one, and anybody who says anything, I get that. But I'm not pushing any one narrative. What are you... Again, it's just so strange to me. It's so strange to me that it's next to impossible to find Israeli, Trump supporter, Christian, anybody like that wants to talk, that wants to be challenged. Well, you're just going to disagree with it. Yeah, okay, so what's the problem with that? That gives you a chance to prove me wrong. It gives you a chance to sharpen your skills. You get to see just how much you know and see if it's comparable and if it stands up to scrutiny. Like, why would I look for that? I'm literally looking for the thing I don't understand why you won't do. It's so strange, right? Like, I want you to do this to me. I don't sit here and say, come on, guys, just agree with me. Just agree with me. I want you to tell me why you disagree. And I can't find it. I have two people supposedly watching me right now. I assume one, if not both, are Israeli trolls. But if I'm wrong, it should be easy for somebody to prove it, right? I'm not an Israeli troll. I just think you're stupid. Something. Anything. But of course, if you said something like that, it's going to mean I'm going to ask you why. Oh my God. He's asking questions. It's like talking to my children. I don't want that. Like, we're watching Teen Titans movie, me and my kid. And he was, at the end of the movie, at the end of the credit scene, Robin is like talking to the camera and he's like, kids, ask your parents where babies come from, just before the shit ends. And it's funny because it's like so many people probably got upset. It's actually a funny joke because of how stupid people are. Because people will get upset about that and be like, oh my God, I have to talk to my children. I don't want to talk to my children. I don't, like forever, my kids were, hey, you guys are too young. I'll tell you about it, just not yet. Don't worry about it. You got other stuff to worry about. And they'd be like, okay, and move on. What now?
Her name is Annie, so they're gonna go look her.
Ignore the ring.
Yeah.
Ignore the ringing. Tiny confession.
If it's out, then you would know. It'd be sitting by the door meowing, or it's gone. But it's probably in the house. More than likely, it's in the house. This is the Charles song. I don't know what it says.
Appear. Wonder. Look like.
Pure abstract.
Find water.
Hence Charles
The
abstract.
infinite mirror. Hold on.
It's in the house. I'm sure it's in the house.
That's what I said.
As well as
Yeah, we'd see it.
the hands gently pushing like the flow, like a flower, telling you stories while seeing it all. Space has its own language, no understanding of time. The concept that made us speed, worm in a hole. Ignore the ring. Ignore the ring. Tiny confessions, abundant and sore, cutting through layers of thin line. insect of wonder. My heart longs for more.
It's a weird song. Charles is a weird dude.
Here's a simple question. Why aren't they puffing out their chests saying, bragging they're the best when they've done all this before? According to the pressmen, using scientific tests then, injecting with infection, they've already won this war. It's simply nothing more than a typical bait and switch. They started racking up the score, and the swine flu of 76 was given such a kick, it up and disappeared. There's no need for silly tricks. The stick should be revered. The government's always bragging about everything they do. The stories told are staggering, affecting how you move. But like how 1 and 1 is 2, the answer is easily seen. If you just accept the truth that you're living a dream. Since the beginning of the pandemic, they've talked of Spanish flu, using the same old rhetoric that they always seem to use when they want the people headed in the direction that they choose. They hit us with anti-sentiments that leave the goy confused. The 19-teens seem rather crude when there's a much more recent example that they effectively removed, or as the youngsters say, they canceled, using a more than ample vaccination program. So it makes no sense that our rock channels keep playing 30 slow jams. The government's always bragging about everything they do. The stories told are staggering, affecting how you move. But like how 1 and 1 is 2, the answer is easily seen. If you just accept the truth that you're living a dream. If I said I had the answer and I could fix your issue, but if I'm to cure your cancer, you have to trust that I have been through so much as a kid. My window lets me now see the truth more than my recent wins prove how I'm no better than my youth. Would you be as quick to shoot the dope that I provide you if the truth was I've been mute about when and how we're lied to? If you knew you might just die, who would still be willing to take the risk? If I couldn't be held liable, would you still want to kiss my lips?
I like this. This song needs to be redone a little bit better. The hook needs to be better. So good. I mean, if I'm gonna have Israelis sitting here watching me, we might as well listen to EBG, right? Fuck it. I'd love to be having a conversation, but nobody wants to talk to me. Round of that sucks.
I'm all about equality, but we are not the same. Stop forcing women's stuff on me. Force only leads to shame. And if life is just a game, then let's look at it as such. Taking Roman by the reins means your character has the touch. You've seen him do so much. So many things you just can't do. You know he doesn't suck like you. No red isn't blue, since it's obvious to you and to anyone who sees it that when pulling off his moves, it really helps to have a penis. It doesn't take a genius hitting you with frisbees to see the butthead that is Beavis, or that the spinning makes you dizzy. So then why are we so silly when it comes to women's rights? You can't claim a loss of chivalry when all you want to do is fight.
Good shit there, boy.
Women are the best. Women rule the world. Women should progress to being women, not just girls. See, women are the pearls in this clammy life we lead, as men were simply squirrels chasing nuts to feed the breed. Feed the breed. Feed the breed. Feed the breed. Chasing nuts to feed the breed. Feed feed the breed. Feed the breed. We chase them nuts to feed the breed.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey's lousy. She's always been overrated. Watching her makes me drowsy, like I'm unwillingly sedated. Her presentation is just so basic. Her promo skills are lacking. It's like she's flying in a spaceship whose foundation keeps on cracking. But she clearly has the backing of the men who are in charge. Which is why no one is asking why her goofy head's so large. She's like a sailboat to a barge. She may think she's like Brock Lesnar, but she only has her star because Vince McMahon lets her. Women are the
Good
best.
fucking scene.
Women rule the world. Women should progress to being women, not just girls. See, women are the pearls in this clammy life we lead. As men, we're simply squirrels chasing nuts to feed the breed. Feed the breed. Feed the breed. Feed the breed. Chasing nuts to feed the breed. Feed the breed. Feed the breed. We chase them nuts to feed the breed. Doing manly things doesn't make you more of a woman. And if that knowledge kind of stings, well, that's equality pudding. When a man's not really good and isn't the best of the herd, no one cares who should win. They just toss him to the curb. No one says what he deserves. We simply tell it like it is. He's judged on his body of work, not his body while naked. And so the truth then that we're faced with makes color out of gray. Women should be sacred, like dudes kissing gay. Trademark. Women are the best. Women rule the world. Women should progress to be women, not just girls. See, women are the pearls in this glammy life we lead. As men, we're simply squirrels chasing nuts to feed the breed. Feed the breed. Feed the breed. We chase those nuts to feed the breed.
Hello, new third person. What's going on? Are you upset about genocide? I hope you have something to say. Otherwise, we're just listening to great tunes by TBG. Free download for anybody that wants it. Links in the bio or in the description. Free download. Music that's actually about the shit we talk about. Not just teeth and hoes and shit. I really like this one too. You know, this is about something I talk about all the time. Facebook charging. How Facebook could fix the world if they charged $1 a month.
Stop saying bro. Bro, before you get mad, just listen. Envision that you have been given the option to change the opinion. You can't change the mind of the minions. You see, that's how they keep us from winning, grooming the goy with their gifts. But what if Facebook's brand new beginning meant improving how we help the kids?
Ooh.
How many would slit their blue and white wrist if slightly they switched how the platform exists? If they charged you a tip, say $1 per month, would you really just quit and admit you're a punk?
Oh, look at that. We got a like on the video too. Good. If you're watching, like it, share it. We need the shares, man.
Where is Facebook? Head insane.
If you are not held,
Help
you're the problem.
charge.
Oh, we lost our like. I lost my like, but I got another person who likes the video and then goes, nah. He said thank you. I don't like that. That's so weird. Are we, anybody here, you know, where are you at with the whole genocide thing? Like, I'd love to hear from you guys. I mean, I guess if you're just watching me to watch, I can't relate. You know, I guess I make my video for me. But I try to think about things from my perspective. I'd much rather listen to somebody, addressing what the people are saying than just rambling. And believe me, I can ramble. I am quite the rambling gambler. Sampler. Platter. Like I'm Luann. Goddamn. 80 fucking people. 80, mostly women and children. But people. 80 people killed. 80 people. I told you it's probably inside. It is inside. Mom sent a picture. I think it is inside. Oh. It's inside.
This isn't checked out.
Yeah, well, they're not very smart.
Backyard at all. Kelly, Jordan, and Caleb. Why is Jordan and Caleb back with
Because it's a place where they can hang out where there aren't parents. They don't like Jessica. It's disgusting. But it is what it is. My chair. She's not home. I just, you know. Here, you like this one.
Bands like Pantera are racist, yet they're allowed to shine. They produce what some call tasteless and what some others call divine, which leads me to asking the basic questions to define. Who then signs
Whoa.
the paychecks of these artists from behind the curtain? We design to keep ourselves in check. When the tires are all aligned, then the distance of the trek isn't felt as much, and wrecks don't nearly come as often. So who then are, who holds the debt that are the artist's nail and coffin?
You like this, ready?
Bands that love to scream white power have their place in history. So why are bands allowed to scream white power? That's the great big mystery. Since bands who love to scream white power question the big history. So then are the bands who scream white power the solution the goy refused to see? A well-documented false flag is the attack in the Gulf of Tonkin.
Whoa.
The admiral
And
on
the
the
Trump
ship
thing.
was the dad to the rebel James D. Morrison. And for years there have been hordes of hymns and hers that listen blindly to a childish man with gangly limbs whose death is called untimely. Yet no one says it's grimy or points out how it's suspicious that a man so fond of whining was given so many riches. You see, someone hits the switches to give us our ups and downs. With a matrix full of glitches, deceptive cons are all around.
Matrix.
The
Matrix.
have their place in history. So why are bands allowed to scream white power? That's the great big mystery. Since bands who love to scream white power.
It's so strange. I just want to hear what you guys think.
So then are the bands who
Come and tell me my music sucks. Whatever.
the boy refused to see everything you see and hear is because the system wants it. The media causes so much fear you think your TV is haunted. They tell us a better dawn sits just past the horizon. Then they hit you with the taunts if you dare to question Zion. The hill then we should die on makes mountains out to the molehills. And their lies aren't too surprising when you know they use a slow build to achieve their goals, and no deal doesn't work to their advantage. Like Riddick Bowe versus Holyfield, they revel in our damage.
That one dates me. When the Hawks come out, everybody else goes away. There's only 10 tracks on that one. That's interesting. That one is Truth Hurts. This is Fake News. Album Lots.
A man would be famous. A man would
See, again, it's just something I like. Like, I like listening to shit that makes me think about stuff.
Senator Obama proved we're more sexist than
But I
racist.
wonder, like,
Tasteless and basically boobs. Although dramas improve, the hex is
you
in
know, I
place
wonder,
for
like,
years like a spaceship. Let's face it, it's true. We're shapeshifter food.
you know, is it maybe we're not broadcasting in the right frequency?
I know like a kumquat when asked about history. A slump thought about shots, struck by injury. Given free ribbons, me, myself, and I live in the mystery of who, when, and why.
So again, let's go back. Let's talk about the fucking murder. Let's read about it. Fucking, we did the music thing for a minute. Now let's read a little bit. Oh, it's gonna let that happen? No. Okay, I don't think so. All right, let's read. Middle East crisis strikes school complex, turned shelter in Gaza, killing dozens. This is the New York Times from an hour ago. Okay, you guys trust the New York Times, right? This isn't me being conspiracy guy. Israel, here's what we know. Israel said Hamas was using the school compound for military operations and cast doubt on the casualty totals from Gaza, where health officials said dozens have been killed. So, do you see what's happening? This is what I always tell you. It's not, they're not denying it. No, we didn't do that. They're just lying. Don't say anything. Just keep your mouth shut. The airstrike hit as people were gathered in a prayer hall, local officials said. White House assails extremist Israeli minister for opposing ceasefire. Which one? Bezalel? Itmar? Benjamin? Good old Bibi? Like, these are fucking pieces of shit, man. You know, listening to the music is nice, and it's like this soothing, sort of distraction. I mean, it makes you think about shit, but it's not the reality of what's going on. The reality of the fake narrative we're being given, as weird as that may sound, or at least the manufactured narrative that we're given. Not fake, but manufactured. All right. Hit play. because that's okay. How do these people live? I just can't imagine living like that. On a daily basis, you live with these savage fucking Israelis, you know, ready to kill you at all times. Here, let's reset. We'll try something else. No, I mean, fuck that. Let's just keep going. Fuck it. It's not like resetting's gonna send it out or something. You know, that's the fucking reality, dude. Wake up. You're being censored. 400 something subscribers. It's interesting how I used to get more viewers when I had less subscribers. How does that work? Anyone? Anyone want to take a stab at it? You know, I look at I send this group of songs to everyone I can, and they're all anti-Israel songs. They're not not pro-Palestine songs. They're anti-Israel songs. And I look at the songs that were released in 2018, 19, 17. You can see like this decline. You know, one song has 600 shares and 21,000 views or whatever. And then you look at other songs more recently that have hundreds of shares and hundreds of views. Like the censorship is fucking outrageous. And the thing is, I don't listen to our shit every day like I should, but I don't. More often than not, I don't listen because it's painful. You know, it's hard because every time I listen, I keep thinking I'm gonna listen and hear the thing that I go, oh, that's why we actually suck. Oh, fuck. Wish I would have seen this earlier. Like, I keep thinking that's gonna happen, but it doesn't. If anything, I'm surprised every time. Like, I have it in my head that we're worse than we are. And then I listen and I'm like, you're an idiot. That's good shit. You know, but I have that insecurity in my head that, oh, people are just saying that to be nice thing. And and I'm the first one to tell you, like, the internet is full of anonymity and truth. People will tell you the truth about how they feel at that moment. You know, the truth is they may be having a bad day. They may be, just got in a fight with someone and they have all this. It's like kinetic energy, you know. It builds up inside them and they have to release it somewhere. And when they release it, it's an explosion. Who knows? They've been getting beat down all day, and then you say something. I'll put it on your brother. Oh, Amanda. Her baby's gonna be fine. They wouldn't let a baby die. Come on. An airstrike early Saturday hit a school compound in northern Gaza where displaced Palestinians were sheltering. Killing dozens of people, according to Gazan officials. The Israeli military, said Hamas and another Palestinian group were using the facility for military operations and attacks on Israel. See, this is like this narrative it doesn't exist, and that's what I can't really understand how they keep getting away with it. Like, I get that they control the media, they control the news, they control everything. I get that.
I get the games today.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yes.
Hope you're grateful to your brother. So much so that you're not going to keep being a dick.
I'm gonna be good today. Mama gave up.
The fuck was I saying? It's in their house.
So Nate, are you gonna get the phone all day? Yes. Okay.
I wouldn't say all day. Hamas and another armed Palestinian group were using the facility. So, for attacks on Israel. So again, the fact that they keep making these claims, and you literally, this is the only footage that ever exists, show, bloody and brutalized Palestinians, fighting for their lives. I haven't seen a single video that shows Israelis being attacked, except for, shit where it's like it's a week or two after the thing happens, and then they suddenly have this video that surfaces. That kind of bullshit, and it's staged. But I don't get it. What are you, just because they tell you to think this way? I mean, they've been doing that to you since you were born. You were told to be a Christian, to believe shit that doesn't make sense, that isn't acceptable in any other circumstances. What's up, people? Share the video, watch it. Seriously, take 2 seconds to share this on Facebook. Say, hey, this is the guy from He's censored like a motherfucker. But I don't get it. Like, aren't you better than that? Don't you need to be shown something? And like I say, they've been manipulating you since you were a kid. You believe in something that, as a kid, there's no doubt, all of you Christians at some point when you were a kid said to your mom or dad, hey, mom, dad, how did everybody come from two people? That science says that doesn't make sense, and that we'd all be retarded if that happened. And your mom and dad go, don't ask those questions. Don't ask those questions. We don't ask those questions. And you're like, oh my God, did I do something? Am I in trouble? Like, did I do something wrong here? You always told me to ask questions if I was confused, so I'm confused. Did I do something wrong? And they, of course, you don't actually ask that, but you feel that way. It's something like you did something wrong. Or anyone about religious stuff, because they turn on you. People that supposedly will treat you like a pariah if you ask questions that they can't answer and they don't like. Questions that make them feel guilty. Why if God is everywhere at all times, and all that, why do so many children get violated, especially by people in the church? Don't ask those questions. Mom and Dad at one point had those same questions, and we were able to get over it, with selfishness. It's the selfishness. Okay, well, death is really scary, so you want to go to heaven when you die, right? You want to live forever, right? Because dying sucks, you don't want to die. You want to live forever, right? And you want to live forever in a fucking mansion, right? Like a really nice place. Well, if you just follow these rules and you just believe the narrative we're given, even though it doesn't make sense, somehow when you die, the you that exists here, goes up into the clouds and lives forever in heaven with Jesus. Like think about how awful Jesus' life would have to be in heaven. Right? I thought about this with Jimi Hendrix, but even if Jesus was real, Can you imagine, like, he's busy all the time. He's busy and he's answering the same fucking 6 questions all the goddamn time. And everybody that's ever lived is like, shit, Jesus is here? Oh, I want to meet him. So then there would have to be security. There would have to be a line. You know, there would have to be some sort of way to keep people from cutting and bullying. And, you know, there would have to be a time limit. Jesus would have to be, you know, what's he, sitting at a cloud chair just waiting for people to come talk to him? Hey, Jim, I saw what you did down there. Good work. I'm like, thanks, Jesus. Like, you understand how stupid that is? Like, look at how we are towards our celebrities here. One time, my friend and I were at Mulholland Drive. We were in the mountains of Mulholland, and that's you know, that's where the Hollywood sign is and shit. And we were walking on one of the trails because they have all these paved trails for the runners and shit. It's really nice. And as we're walking, he suddenly goes, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" And I said, "What?" He said, "We just passed by so-and-so from something or other." And I'm like, "Yeah, so?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go say hi." And I'm like, "Why, dude? He doesn't want to meet you. He's out exercising." I think he was like, you know, either jogging or whatever, but he's doing his own thing. He doesn't want you to come up and be like, "Well, I'm so on, you're so on." Like, that's weird. And that's how we are with, you know, I didn't even know who the person was. So a nothing star that, you know, that we're just walking by. Like, imagine how famous Jesus would have to be. Imagine how famous Jimi Hendrix would have to be. Jimi Hendrix would he's more famous now than he was alive. Especially in like the late 90s, late 90s, 2000s era. When the maybe mid to late 90s, when everything came back and the 70s were real big and blah blah blah. Imagine how many people, when they die, want to meet Jimi Hendrix. And then it's like, is Jimmy obligated to meet them? You know? And then again, he's probably sitting there answering the same like 6 questions over and over again. Is that fun for Jimmy? Is that Jimmy's idea of heaven? Wouldn't Jimmy's idea of heaven not be that? Most famous people talk about the fame being the worst part of it. The thing you think you want until you have it and you can't go anywhere or do anything, you know? Eminem has this song, "I built this castle, blah, 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 blah." I don't remember the words, but the gist of it is like how with his career, he was able to build such this incredible wealth and this incredible, you know, ability for opportunity. But they're like prisoners, you know, in this amazing castle they have. They're prisoners because they can't go anywhere. Him and his daughter, whatever. They can't go anywhere without stupid people fucking, "Hey, you're so awesome. Oh my goodness." But I digress. That was because of the whole. Again, the Israeli military said Hamas and other armed Palestinian groups were using the facility for military operations and attacks on Israel. What attacks on Israel are we talking about? I don't know of any attacks on Israel. I know the October 7th bullshit was a staged false flag fucking nonsense. It was. I know with almost 100% certainty, almost. I mean, I 100% believe there are no real Israeli hostages. and that October 7th was completely orchestrated and that no Israelis were killed. And I believe I can prove it. Like I just think, just like with all of the other shit, like the attacks on Israel and all that, I'm open to being wrong. Just show me. Present me with information that shows me what I'm wrong about. Don't just tell me I'm wrong or tell me I'm not allowed to talk about it, because that's what Israel does. They tell you you're wrong, but you're wrong for talking about it. You're not necessarily wrong for what you said. You're wrong because your dumb goyim ass said something to begin with, and you're not supposed to do that. I mean, seriously, do you understand like how brazen, how much balls I have to say that there are no Israeli hostages, no real Israeli hostages, that no one was killed on, no Israelis were killed on October 7th? That's not a light claim. To say that, you better be able to back that shit up. That better not just be an opinion. And I definitely don't think it's an opinion. I think I've figured out what they're doing. And at the very least, I think I can present enough of an argument that a truly free nation like the United States, being the good guys that we are, I think I could make enough of an argument to justify an investigation. I mean, I think it's all pretty obvious. I don't even, like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm some brilliant military strategist or the smartest guy in the room. I think when it comes to this particular thing, I'm really good at it. I've probably done more reading and research than you have. And again, I can come at you with multiple pieces of official evidence to back up my narrative. The 4 hostages that were rescued is a great example of exactly what I'm talking about. You know, you have a guy who is a reporter and a journalist, and he's a pro-Palestinian journalist. He writes an article about what Israel's doing, and the next day, the IDF show up to his family compound or whatever the fuck they live in, kick in the door, shoot his wife in the head, shoot him and his father, both are dead, but shot the wife in the head first in front of him so he could watch that before he died. And the children and one of the sisters was hiding, wasn't, because they were hiding under the bed. But the Israelis, what they do is they bring soldiers in, guys dressed in military outfits, and then they strip down and they get brought out as the hostages. And then you hear these cockamamie stories like, yeah, they made us wash dishes. Oh, I had to lay in a bed for 2 days straight. I had to lie in a mattress. He made me lie in a mattress with blankets on me because I dared to wash my hands in the drinking water. What do they care? They're just monkeys. Whether I wash my hands, they should be honored to have me wash my chosen Jewish hands in their drinking water. Literally, they come up with these nonsensical stories because there's no evidence. The people aren't skinny, they're not gaunt, they're not pale, they're tanned. They have no bruises, no broken bones, no stitches, no nothing. There's no reason why you would think they're hostages. Go look. You can tell the difference between real hostages and fake hostages. And it doesn't take long. But again, these hostages were supposedly just sort of they weren't chained down, they weren't handcuffed, they were allowed to wash dishes. Like, do you not get that? That doesn't make any sense. That's not a hostage situation. Why didn't they just escape? The one got in trouble for standing by an open window. Why is he in a room with a window? If he is in a room with a window that has mattresses and blankets and washing your hands water and drinking water and all that shit, why don't they just escape at nighttime? But this is how Israel does it. When Israel is reporting that Hamas leaders say they have no idea how many hostages are left or where they all are or anything like that, but then you have Benny Gantz, who is the opposition leader to Netanyahu, but he's like a IDF commander or something. I don't even think he's that anymore. I think he's just one of those Kissinger type fellas. But he says that Israel knows where most of the hostages are. If they know where the hostages are, why aren't they getting them? The only thing you hear these horrible Jew Israelis talking about is free the hostages. You don't hear any of the Jews talking about, God, stop killing all those people. It's just free the hostages, free the hostages. And you know what the sad part is? The average Jew is being used as well. You know, they're being used in this whole narrative, you know, this idea that they're chosen, but they're not chosen. They're just more chosen than I am. Anyway, the strike in Gaza City, the latest in a string of attacks on schools turned into shelters, drew strong condemnation from the European Union and the UN. But hey, the United States is still staunch in its ironclad support for Israel. Our bond, our connection to Israel is ironclad. Our support for Israel is ironclad. I bet we hear that by the end of this. With Josep Borrell Fontelles, the EU diplomat, saying there's no justification for these massacres. No shit. It's been over 300 days. Like what the fuck is going on? Even if October 7th was real, which it's not, even if it was real, the idea that around 1,200 people killed in Israel is and 250 taken hostage compares to the 40,000 plus that have been killed since then, and the thousands and thousands, and then, you know, the thousands killed beforehand. There were 242 Palestinians killed prior to October 7th in 2023. The Israelis had killed 242 civilians by that point and taken thousands hostage. Since then, they've taken thousands and thousands hostage. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they've just been killing them. But how do Israeli lives matter that much more than everyone else's? You know, Israel was bragging about killing more than 1,200 people immediately. The immediate reports were that the Israelis had killed 1,500 Hamas members within the first, hour of October 7th. Within the first hour of the attack, Hamas had 1,500 Hamas had been killed in Israel, which justifies the claim when Israel says that around 1,200 people in Israel were killed. It's how they do this. I mean, again, if I'm wrong, why can't I be shown? Where can I go to look? You know, it's not like I'm a conspiracy guy. I read the narrative that I'm supposed to read. I look at what I'm supposed to look at. And I still have this narrative in my head. You know, I learned about the IDF multi-billion-dollar contract with Google and Amazon from Wired, from an article in Wired that only Wired was talking about. Funny enough, only Wired thought it was a good enough story to tell the Goyim that Israel, the IDF has unlimited contract. Like, one of the stipulations in the contract is that Google and Amazon aren't allowed to deny permission to use this technology to anyone involved with Israel, anyone in the Israeli system. So if Israel wants to use the technology to help them kill better, there's nothing that Google and Amazon can do. You know, it's fucked up. I was just thinking about it. Like, lately I've been really defeated and you know, just questioning, like, the futility of it all. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I not just playing the game and living the better life? And I listened to TBG. There was the story today of the 80 fucking people being killed by the Israeli airstrike. No doubt that helped, but it was listening to TBG that inspired me to have the piss and vinegar I have going right now. And to think, like, that's exactly what they're scared of. That's why they censor me so much. Because my music is, you know, it's what it is. It's the thing they're scared of. Oh, now I'm getting texts. I must be doing, I must not be hitting the nail on the head here. You know, the thing is, the dumbasses that's watching me now, that text me, you go live for hours and nobody watches. We both know that if I didn't have the blocks on my pages, my shit would be huge. Already proven it. You've proven it, we've proven it, I've proven it. You know, when the blocks come off, my numbers skyrocket. And I get numbers that most people don't get. You know, not even celebrities get the numbers I get at times. And so, you know, it's proven. I mean, it's been proven so many times. There's no argument there. There's nothing you can argue. And that's what the, you know, like I say, this whole thing with the music and I've always, music is it's the most powerful weapon, one of the most powerful weapons available. Not I mean, it's available to us, to them too. They use music as a weapon. That's why they do it. What do you think people fucking, you know, people riding around nodding their head yes over and over again to horrible, you know, niggas shoot, niggas kill, niggas. What do you think that's doing? If listening to TBG inspires me to go live and to talk about the stuff, what does listening to other shit do? What does listening to all that horrible, you know, Jew-approved music do? You know? And the thing is, the texters, I mean, you know, talking about how powerful they are, you're not shit. I mean, yeah, you can fuck with social medias and stuff, but, you know, go look at the Ben Gurion channel. That's gonna happen tomorrow. You already proved you just don't have shit. Can you imagine if I actually let you come on and do that kind of nonsense? The Ben Gurion channel is gonna be all over the news tomorrow. Nope. Zero credibility. Because all you're going to do is distract. That's all the point is. It's to distract. You don't want people talking about this kind of shit. And I get it. When you have the top diplomat of the EU, Josep Borrell Forantes, saying there's no justification for these massacres, I mean, that is exactly the truth. There literally is no justification for any sort of bullshit. These people are psychotic, you know. I mean, think about it. Like, the funniest thing is, so, my God, going back to this, you just have to look at it for what it is. Is it worse that I go live and talk about what's going on in the world and, you know, thinking I'm censored and whatnot? Or is it worse that you have been watching me for years, like that it's just regular people? Let's just say it's not Israel and it's just regular people. That regular people, or, you know, it seemingly at least two people, maybe 3, 4, 5, I don't know, that they you know, they watch every video I put out. They put in so much effort to silence someone who's wrong, and that they've done it for years. Like, what's worse? I'm doing my own thing. If it works out that way, it works out that way. Like, but if I'm wrong, the idea that people would waste so much energy on me is something that I'll never understand. I'll never get it. You know, I encourage you to try to explain it to me. But, you know, this is one of those things where it's just, anybody I talk to, you know, most people think I'm like exaggerating or that I'm not telling the truth, because it's such a ridiculous concept. You're telling me that people watch your shit. They say they hate you, but they watch everything you do and they obsess over you, and this has been going on for almost a decade? Like, who's gonna believe that? The series of strikes has taken place alongside mounting international pressure on Israel to conclude a deal for a ceasefire and an exchange for hostages held in Gaza and Palestinian detainees, with President Biden and leaders of Egypt and Qatar saying this week the time has come of an exchange of hostages held in Gaza and Palestinian detainees. That doesn't make any sense. I just got told I make shit up while I'm reading the news. Look at how I'm making this up as I read it, huh? Just making shit up. That's me. I just make shit up. What kind of stupid shit is it? I mean, it's just the same. That level of stupidity is just amazing. But to think that, like, you got to go back to what I just told you guys. If Benny Gantz, who's not even in the military necessarily, like, he's the opposition leader to Netanyahu. If Benny Gantz is saying that Israel knows where most of the hostages are and how many are alive, then what are they waiting for? Like, obviously the hostages being held is Israel's justification for the continuation. And it's always been that, you know, well, if they just give up the hostages, will you stop killing them? And Israel has flat out said no for over 300 days. The hostages aren't a priority. You know? Mulholland is in the valley. Mulholland Drive? Yeah, okay. Stupid people say stupid things. Again, trying to distract. If you are so interested in what I'm saying, why aren't you focused in on this stuff? Why aren't you focused in on the stuff about you guys, the Jews, the awful, horrible Jews? Why don't you focus in on what I'm getting wrong about you guys? Seems like a miscommunication there somehow. And the thing is, whether or not this video is seen live, whether it's seen by 1,000 people or 20 people, people are going to get some information from this that they otherwise wouldn't get. And that's okay. I'm educating me. The funniest thing is, like, for me, the reason why I want people to tell me what I'm wrong about is because I'm trying to get better. This isn't about entertaining anyone. This is about learning what's going on and trying to figure out the narrative, figure out how to fix things. So reading this stuff, I mean, if I was just sitting here reading it to myself, I wouldn't be able to have the conversation with myself that I'm having without it being kind of weird. And without there being the opportunity for somebody to come in and help me understand it. So you're just sort of along with me on the journey, and I'm hoping you'll be there to correct me. Boy, that seems like I'm an arrogant motherfucker, doesn't it? The Gaza Civil Defense Emergency Service said more than 90 were killed. Oh, since I've seen reports saying that it was 60 and then I saw 80. So now it's 90. It was not clear whether any of those killed were combatants. The Israeli military were combatants. So again, you have to look at this wording because there is no Gaza military. There is no Hamas military. That shit's not real. And legally, like according to the Geneva Conventions and all that shit, the militaries aren't allowed to be used against civilians like that. So they have to make it sound like who's being slaughtered by the Israeli jets and war machine. They're combatants. They're militants. They're using these words to describe people who fight back, to describe the people who will defend themselves. And as soon as you defend yourself, you become Hamas. Like, I love this notion of like, oh, so you're a Hamas supporter? Fuck yeah. If Hamas was real, fuck yeah, I support them. I might not support everything that they're supposedly associated with, but I absolutely support them fighting back against the tyranny. Because it's not like they're the instigators. This whole narrative that this whole thing started on October 7th when Israel was attacked. Never mind the genocide they've been consistently bringing to those people for 75 fucking years. 70 plus years. I don't know. It's 75. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, it's 76 years now. Like, this is fucking crazy. This is just, it's crazy how this is worded. And how, again, if there was a way, like if I was on a news channel or whatever, if I was able to do the exact same thing I'm doing now, but there was maybe a panel or something like that I could ask these questions, like, why do you word it this way? Because that's not necessarily what's happening, and you're still playing these games, condemning one thing while supporting Not just the same thing, but a much worse version when it's the Jews doing it. Let's see. Said 90 were killed, but the number could not be confirmed, and 2 doctors at one hospital in the area gave slightly lower totals. How would they fucking know? Like, to think about that, like, Israel is dropping unsuspecting bombs on a shelter. Within an hour, within hours or whatever, they already know how many. Oh, yeah, but it's so many. It's like those buildings collapsed due to structural damage and fire. You know, like it's them just doing the narrative before it's even possible to know it. Remember when Israel blew up Beirut? And they said just before the factory housing the ammonium nitrate that there were some flashes, some fireworks were going off, and immediately after the huge explosion, they just happened to interview 2 people who were like, yeah, there was some explosions going off. How did you fucking get interviews with these people that quickly? A fucking mushroom cloud just happened. It was not clear whether any of those killed were combatants. Again, that notion that, you know, you're a combatant, you're a militant, you're a civilian who is in a fucking shelter. Do you not? These are civilians in a goddamn school shelter. This notion that Israel is somehow in any bit of danger. It's funny, they're in so much danger, yet the civilians are out. You know, there's multiple videos of their beaches being full, of their lives, of the Israeli lives continuing on like nothing's going on. Like they can hear the bombs dropping in the distance, but they're like, oh man, I don't want to pay that much. That's ridiculous. I'm not paying you 50 cents for a croissant. Where's the locks? It doesn't even have any locks on it. Ugh. Disgusting. What disgusting creatures they are, that one of their mainstays is raw, cold fucking salmon. Who the fuck? Why the fuck is that a thing? No, you gotta slice it really thin, and then you cure it with some salt and some sugar. It's gotta be kosher salt, of course. And it's so delicious. Blech. Cold, wet fish. Love it. The Israeli military did not provide a death toll and questioned the Gaza authorities' statements. Like, and as much as it's crazy that the Gazan authorities would know the death toll, why would the Israelis know the death toll? What? The Civil Defense Emergency Service said the strike hit as more than 200 people who had gathered before sunrise in a prayer hall to worship. If they didn't word that right. More than 2,000 displaced people had been staying at the shelter, the El Tabian school in the Al Daraj neighborhood, Civil Defense said. It sure is a lot of real easy numbers here. The Israeli military says that Hamas embeds itself among civilians to use them as human shields. Do you understand how fucking ridiculous that is? It's the whole concept is so insultingly stupid that I just don't understand how anybody hears this stuff and goes, oh man, yeah, I definitely support Israel. They got the short side of this stick, that's for sure. Like, it's just, it's horrendous. Hey, they embed themselves among the only areas where people can exist. Where the fuck are they supposed to embed themselves? And again, The idea that they're Hamas, these are civilians. Hamas are civilians who fight back. That's literally it. They are not some military that, they have this training corps and they, like you see the Israelis in their, they just have these training programs and all this weaponry and all that shit. Hamas doesn't have that shit. They're just civilians fighting back. Every time a civilian fights back and doesn't willingly go along with whatever it is, just like if I were to talk about it and a Jew had some sort of balls, they'd immediately come on here and call me a Hamas supporter. That's like one of their first things they're going to say nowadays. Oh, you're a Hamas supporter. They're just all they do out there. They just call them Hamas instead of saying they're a Hamas supporter. If anybody says anything or does anything that the system doesn't like, or they just need to justify killing them, they say, oh, those guys are Hamas. They're Hamas. Yeah, we've killed, like, I can't tell you how many times Israel has bragged about killing a Hamas commander in the last, since October 7th. And actually prior. I mean, that's all, they Hamas must just have tons and tons of commanders and shit. How come there's no Hamas videos coming out? How come there's no videos coming out saying, we are Hamas, we are the victims of this situation, and we need your help, please. We are Hamas. We did not attack them first. We did nothing. There's literally nothing from this terror group that even suggests that they exist. That's like what proof do you have that Hamas is a thing? You've seen footage of missiles being launched. Does that mean, just because Israel says those are Hamas missiles, did you see anything other than like just above where the missile launchers, you see like the tips of the missile launchers firing the missiles, but they never seem to be able to film who's operating those missile launchers. And they just tell, oh, look, we got this footage of Hamas launching rockets into the airspace so they can be shot down. Because 100% of the rockets never hit anything except for, actually it's 99% of the rockets will be shot down. The computer can analyze which rockets won't actually successfully hit anything. It may just fall like short and destroy, Palestinian targets or whatever. And they let those go. But the ones that are harmful to Israel, they can shoot 99% out of the sky. Notice, again, nobody's brought up the 12 children in Israel killed, the 12 children of Israel. The Israeli military says that Hamas embeds using helium shield and uses school buildings as centers of operations, while international law experts have said Israel still has the responsibility to protect. Almost a year now, and no one is doing anything about it. Israel has been clearly violating international law for well over a year, or almost a year, and nobody. The people from all over every country on the planet, the people have spoken out, and we are unanimously against Israel, against the genocide that's happening, and yet again, nobody's doing anything about this. Because I'm a conspiracy theorist. None of this is real. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Never mind that I'm reading you the New York Times. You guys see it, right? New York Times. Even though I'm making all this shit up. At least 17 school buildings in Gaza have been targeted in the past month. With at least 163 Palestinians killed in the attacks, the UN Human Rights Office said in a report this week. 163 civilians. They go out of their way to not call them civilians for some fucked up reason. Gee, I wonder who's writing this article. Let's see. Do you guys think it's going to be like Mohammed Shabazz or some shit? Or is it going to be one of those conglomerate articles? Yep, it's a conglomerate article. We don't get to know who wrote this article. The civil defense spokesman, Mohammed Basel, said 11 children and 6 women were among the dead, adding that many people were seriously wounded. Yeah, we only focus on those killed, but lots of people weren't lucky enough to be killed. They were just fucking maimed, you know, irreversibly. Their fucking legs blown off, their arms, shrapnel in the face, blinded, you know, all these horrendous things. But again, it's like there's just nothing. There's literally no coverage of any of this. If this was the other way around, if somehow some rockets got through the Iron Dome and hit a building, a school, killing, 90 people, it would be like Armageddon. They would be launching fucking nukes at the, there's no nukes, but it would be an all-out fucking assault. And the international community would be oh my gosh, the Pope would condemn it like he did the October 7th attacks. Pope doesn't have anything to say about any of this shit, but he damn well condemns when the Jews get attacked. He does wear a yarmulke, so. Yarmulke. I always thought they were yarmulkes, but they're not. They're yarmulkes. The airstrike hit 2 floors, one of which was used for communal prayers and the other for sheltering women and children, Mr. Basel said. And Israel knows this. You know? Their intelligence is second to none. Like their intelligence gathering. I don't mean their intelligence. They're fucking stupid. But their intelligence gathering apparatus is second to none. So they knew exactly what they were hitting. He said the prayer hall inside the school complex has been used for worship since the beginning of the 10-month war. It's not a war. Many of those wounded in the Israeli strike, including children, were arriving with severe burns covering much of their bodies, said Taser Al-Tana, a surgeon at the Al Ahina hospital in Gaza City, who called the scene very difficult to watch. Fuck. Pedophiles, kill yourself.